Archangel Michael has led you here. This message is not a coincidence. You always thought love would be simple, eyes locking across the room, heart softly opening like petals, intentions made clear with time and tenderness. But life never unfolded that way for you. Too many almosts. Too many blurred beginnings and confusing endings. Too many smiles that turned into silence. But now, in this sacred moment, heaven opens a space around you, and I, Archangel Michael, am sent to speak what your spirit already sensed but couldn't find the words for. Beloved, the one who wishes to hold your hand in covenant, the one whose heart has been leaning in closer toward your life, is not who you have imagined. Their face may be familiar. Their actions may have been consistent. But the truth is, someone else, quiet, hidden, overlooked, is carrying the kind of love that your soul has been aching for. The real connection has been shielded from your view because God needed to protect it from noise, from assumption, from the grasp of those who only saw you on the surface. God says, I watched you choose others with your heart while they only chose you with their eyes. I watched you give the purest parts of yourself to people who only wanted access to your spirit but not responsibility for your soul. You trusted easily, not because you were naive, but because you believed in love the way I created it. And though others have broken that belief, I have preserved it in the heart of someone whose face you don't fully see yet. This person, the one I ordained for your future, is not chasing you with loud promises. They are praying for you in private, carrying your name before me in silence. And that's the one I'm about to bring forward. The one whose love will not feel like guessing, but confirmation. Michael continues, they hid behind distraction. Behind distance. Behind fear that you would never notice them. And yet, their soul has circled yours in the realm of spirit for longer than your conscious heart can comprehend. This person is not who you've been crying about. This person is not the one you thought would return. This person is not trying to fit a role, they were created for it. While others performed love like a game, this soul has been holding your name with reverence. And soon, very soon, you will realize why all the previous ones had to fail. Why it never worked. Why it kept slipping. Because what's coming next is not romance. It's divine alignment. God says, I allowed the delays in your love life not to disappoint you, but to protect you. If I had let you marry who you once prayed for, you would have spent your life in spiritual drought. But I am a God of perfect timing, and what I'm releasing now is sacred. The person who is meant for you carries not only love, but assignment. You are not being connected to someone because you're lonely. You're being joined with someone because you're ready. And so are they. No more counterfeits. No more miscommunication. No more one-sided emotion. This next season will be mutual. Open. Soft. And steady. What I am preparing will feel like home, not chaos. Michael speaks again, gently, you are about to be surprised, not by betrayal, but by beauty. Not by confusion, but by clarity. The person whose soul has been tied to yours in the heavens has finally been cleared for approach. And while they may not look like your past, they will feel like peace. Their voice will calm storms inside you. Their presence will feel like permission to be fully seen. And they will not run. They will not play. They will not disappear. Because their love is not being fueled by ego or desire. It is being breathed out by heaven itself. God ends this moment with fullness. In 3 minutes, the atmosphere around you will begin to shift. You may not hear it, but you will feel it. The old ties are breaking. The silent soul I've preserved for you is stirring. And soon, very soon, your heart will no longer wonder who's coming. Because I will show you. Clearly. Softly. And unmistakably. The person you were looking at may not be the one. But the one I've chosen is already walking toward your door. You spent nights wondering why the one you thought was yours never stayed. You replayed memories like broken records, trying to find clues in their silences, trying to stitch answers into their absence. But what if the reason they disappeared was because they were never assigned to your future? What if their departure wasn't a rejection, but a redirection? What if you were holding space in your heart for someone who was only meant to pass through, not to plant roots? You gave your loyalty to potential, your energy to illusions, and your tears to someone who never carried your name with sacredness. But I, Archangel Michael, am here to tell you now, someone else did. Someone else has. Someone else will. And this time, beloved, your soul won't have to wonder. It will recognize. God says, you mistook temporary connections for lifelong bonds because you loved from the depths of who you are. You didn't love halfway. You didn't love in disguise. You gave fully, and they couldn't hold it. That's not your failure. That's their limitation. But the one I've chosen for you doesn't just have room for your love, they were built to carry it. They won't shrink beneath your light. They won't compete with your growth. They will not be confused by your depth. Instead, they will see your soul like a familiar language, one they've waited their whole life to hear. And when they arrive, you will finally understand why I said no to all the others. Michael continues, this person has watched you from afar. Maybe not physically, but spiritually. They've seen your strength in rooms where your name was unspoken. They've felt the pull in their spirit but were not released to approach. Because the timing wasn't holy. I was preparing both of you. You were shedding the false bonds, the emotional trauma, the leftover pain from people who couldn't see your value. And they were being prepared to hold your heart with reverence. That's why the delay was long. That's why your loneliness felt divine. Because it was. God didn't want you to settle for love that only filled your evenings. He wanted to give you a love that would build your eternity. God whispers now with clarity, I watched them think they could return when they wanted. I watched others touch your heart with no intention of holding it. I watched you believe in words that were only spoken to satisfy moments, not shape futures. But I allowed it all so that your soul could recognize what love is not. Now, I'm bringing you into a space where you will not only know who's right, you will feel it in your bones. It will not be rushed. It will not require you to convince or chase. Because the person I'm sending has been instructed by me to honor you the moment they enter your life. Michael's voice wraps gently around your spirit, you'll know it's them by the peace that enters the room before they speak. You'll know it's them because your spirit won't resist, your heart won't panic, and your past won't echo anymore. They will not remind you of pain. They will not mirror the ones who mishandled you. Their love will arrive already decided, already devoted, already aligned. And when they speak, you will not hear charm. You will hear truth. You will hear me. God finishes this part with a promise: you were never forgotten. The delay was not punishment. It was preparation for a connection that no human hand can tamper with. You cried for real love. You bled for something deeper. And now, child, I am fulfilling the promise I whispered over your life long ago. I kept them hidden for a reason. But now, I am about to reveal what I've preserved. This is not just a marriage. This is mission. This is covenant. This is love, done my way. Prepare your heart, because the one you thought was the one, was never even close to what's coming. There's a reason your spirit started feeling restless whenever you thought about them. There's a reason the same cycle kept repeating no matter how much you prayed for clarity. It wasn't that you were broken. It wasn't that love had forgotten you. It was that heaven had to protect you from the person you thought was yours. Sometimes, what we call soulmate is actually lesson. And God couldn't let you settle for a version of love that still required you to beg for attention, explain your worth, or wonder why they only showed up when it was convenient. You were never created to be tolerated. You were created to be cherished. And I, Archangel Michael, speak now with the full weight of heaven behind this message. There is someone watching your life from a distance, someone heaven has hidden not to hurt you but to prepare you. And the reason things feel like they're shifting now is because this hidden soul is being released from silence. Their name carries the rhythm of your destiny. And they are closer than you know. God says, you gave your heart to shadows hoping they would one day become light. You watered relationships that were never rooted in me. But you didn't fail. You were faithful. Even when others only saw you as temporary, you gave them the kind of love that heals. And that's why I'm blessing you with a love that heals you back. This time, you won't have to dim your personality to feel accepted. You won't have to make yourself small to be tolerated. You won't have to guess what you mean to them. Because this next connection will carry my fingerprints. It won't need to be explained. It will feel like confirmation wrapped in peace. Michael's voice deepens with clarity. They were never the one. And deep down, you knew it. You kept hoping they would wake up. You kept believing your consistency would soften their confusion. But you weren't sent to fix people. You were sent to build kingdom partnerships. And the one who's meant for you is not confused. They are being prepared to honor you like an answered prayer. While others played with your emotions, this one prayed for your heart. They asked heaven for your safety before they even asked for your presence. That's why it's taken time. Not because they weren't ready to love, but because heaven wasn't ready for you to settle. God continues, there is someone who has your name in their dreams. Someone who feels your spirit even if they haven't met you in the flesh. I connected you in the unseen before you will ever collide in the natural. This person is not a replacement. They are a revelation. A sacred reminder that what I join, no man can separate. And when you meet them, you won't feel butterflies, you'll feel home. They will not shake your foundation. They will steady your soul. And every wound you carried will begin to close, not because they healed you, but because I finally brought you someone who doesn't reopen what I already restored. Michael speaks softer now, you've passed the tests. You've stayed kind in the face of rejection. You've kept your spirit clean even after manipulation. And you've grown in ways no one can see but heaven celebrates loudly. That's why this next season is divine. Because you won't have to chase, beg, or suffer to keep what's meant for you. You've suffered long enough. You've waited long enough. You've cried into pillows and still shown up with love on your lips. And now, God is giving you someone who will see the cost of your purity and protect it like treasure. This isn't just love. It's covenant. It's prophecy. It's answered prayer with a face you've yet to fully see. God concludes this part with finality. Let go of the image you built in your mind. Let go of the one who kept you waiting while entertaining others. Let go of the guilt for loving the wrong people the right way. Because I, your Father, am bringing you someone whose voice carries safety and whose eyes see eternity when they look at you. They were not late. I kept them hidden. But now, I am revealing. And this time, love won't leave you wondering, it will wake you up into peace. They wanted you to believe that love was supposed to feel like confusion, like unanswered messages, like half-shown effort and promises that never turned into presents. They made you think that you were asking for too much when all you ever wanted was consistency, transparency, and truth. But the reason it never worked wasn't because you were unlovable. It was because they were never your match in spirit. And the love that is truly for you will never make you beg to be chosen. I, Archangel Michael, come not to remind you of what hurt you, but to remind you of what's already been written for you in heaven. There is a person walking this earth who carries the kind of love you thought only existed in prayers, and you are closer than ever to crossing paths. They may not carry the face you once cried over, but they carry the peace your soul has been craving for years. And heaven has made its move. God says, you learned how to pour into people who never poured back. You learned how to stay, even when everything in you said go. You were loyal, not because they deserved it, but because you loved from your soul. I saw that. I honored that. And now, I am releasing to you a connection that will honor the same way. You will not feel drained. You will not feel invisible. You will not feel like a second option in someone else's indecision. This time, love will not require you to hurt first in order to be seen later. It will arrive whole. It will arrive ready. It will arrive with me in the middle. Michael continues, this person who is coming has watched the world mishandle people like you. People who carry soft hearts in sharp times. And instead of copying that carelessness, they chose to wait until they were capable of giving you the love you deserve. That's why you haven't met them clearly yet. Not because they weren't ready to meet you, but because they wanted to meet you in alignment, not confusion. And now the moment has arrived. They've been cleared spiritually. You've been healed internally. The pain is no longer heavy. The lessons have been learned. And now what enters your life next will not hurt you. It will hold you. God says, the reason you had to let go of the one you thought was the one, is because I never anointed them to stay. They were a mirror, not a marriage. They showed you what you still needed to heal, what you still feared, what you still accepted. But the one I'm sending is not here to mirror. They are here to carry. To walk beside you. To match your vision. To water your garden instead of watching it wither. They will be the one who doesn't disappear when you need them the most. Their love won't come with punishment or confusion. It will come with presence. And presence is everything. Michael whispers gently, you will notice the difference immediately. You will not have to decode their intentions. You will not have to suffer in silence while pretending everything is okay. This person will hold your emotions like a sacred gift. They won't be perfect, but they will be present. And that is what will set them apart. They won't just say the right things. They'll do the right things. They'll show up. They'll stay when it's inconvenient. They'll communicate when it's hard. They'll choose you without condition. And when you doubt your worth, they'll remind you of how divinely designed you are. God finishes with conviction and calm, what I'm bringing you is not just about romance. It's about restoration. The ache in your chest is being answered. The questions you cried into your pillow are being returned with peace. And this peace will be clothed in skin, with eyes that look into yours and see past your strength into your soul. They won't rescue you. They'll join you. Because this love won't be a fix, it will be a fulfillment. Let the past go. Let the version of love you settled for dissolve. Because what's coming next is me, speaking through someone who was formed for the future I'm calling you into. You prayed for closure, but what heaven is giving you now is clarity. You asked for signs, but what's coming next is a spiritual encounter. You thought the story ended with heartbreak, but the author of all things was only turning the page. There's someone whose spirit has been in quiet alignment with yours, someone whose journey has prepared them for the exact shape of your soul. They are not trying to impress the world, they are learning how to protect your heart. And while you've been healing silently, they've been evolving purposefully. Both of you have been moving through separate storms that were designed to prepare you to meet in peace. I, Archangel Michael, have been assigned to cover this union before it even begins. Because this is not just about timing, it's about timelessness. God says, you do not have to be anxious anymore. You do not have to wonder if they will choose you. The person I am releasing into your life does not wrestle with indecision. They are not confused about your value. They are not comparing you to anyone else. They've seen what life feels like without you. And their soul is ready to stop searching. They are not perfect, but they are pure in intention. And that is what you have waited for. That is what your tears asked me for. That is what your dreams whispered about in the quiet hours of night. And that is what I am now delivering. Not a partner to impress the world, but a partner to fulfill my will. Michael's voice moves with depth. There were moments you wanted to give up. You thought maybe love wasn't for you. But those feelings weren't the truth, they were the result of too many people holding your heart with hands that never asked heaven for permission. The ones who ghosted you were not rejection. They were protection. The ones who made you question your worth were never meant to be permanent. They were lessons in disguise. And now that you've passed the test of loneliness without becoming bitter, heaven is opening the gates of divine connection. Not because you earned it, but because you endured what others broke under. Your resilience has reached its reward. God continues, you are not meant to go through life constantly explaining why you feel too deeply or love too quickly. The person I've created for you will not see your depth as a burden, but as a blessing. They won't try to mute you. They'll magnify your light. They won't run from your intensity, they'll root their love in it. They won't shrink when you're in pain. They'll cover you. They won't panic when things get difficult. They'll pray. They will not look like every other person you've met, because they are not like everyone else. This is not an imitation of love. This is what love looks like when it's shaped by divine obedience. Michael whispers now, gently, you'll feel it before you see it. Your sleep will deepen. Your breath will slow. Your spirit will settle. Not because life is suddenly perfect, but because your soul will know something sacred is approaching. They will not enter like a storm. They will come like a soft answer to every unspoken prayer. And when you speak, they won't interrupt. They'll listen. They'll remember. They'll choose you again and again, because their love will not depend on mood, emotion, or convenience. It will depend on calling. And they know yours is holy. God finishes with a powerful calm, let go of who you thought it would be. Let go of the timeline you built around pain. Let go of the version of love that kept you waiting in confusion. Because what's next is not going to hurt. It's going to heal. I'm sending you someone who doesn't just say they love you, they show it in the way they see you. In the way they cover you. In the way they stay. They won't bring drama. They will bring direction. And when they enter, everything you've survived will make sense. This is not fiction. This is fulfillment. This is your appointed connection. And nothing can cancel what I've already approved. You've spent years carrying the ache of almost love, the kind that nearly stayed, nearly worked, nearly gave you the peace you were longing for. But each time it slipped, a small part of you questioned if maybe you were the problem. Let me tell you now, child, you were never too much. You were never too deep. You were never too hard to love. They just weren't prepared to love. Someone as real, as honest, as spiritually grounded as you. And that's why I, Archangel Michael, have been circling your name in the realm of divine promise, holding back a sacred union not because you weren't worthy, but because heaven wanted to release it only when you were fully ready to receive love that does not need explanation. And now, the time is near. God says, I saw you trust people who were only visiting while you were building foundations. I saw you hand over your heart like a gift while they treated it like a moment. I didn't stop you because your compassion was part of the process. I allowed the wrong ones to enter so that when the right one arrives, you will know the difference, not from fear, but from discernment. You will no longer choose out of loneliness. You will choose from a place of spiritual wholeness. And the person I am sending is not coming to take from you. They are coming to pour into you. This will be mutual. This will be mature. This will be me in human form beside you. Michael continues, the person who wants to marry you is not who your past has tried to convince you of. This is not about the one who left without closure. Not the one who kept circling but never staying. This is not the one who only saw your light when others started admiring it. This is someone who was hidden, preserved, protected, not for secrecy, but for sacredness. Their soul is quiet, but it's loud in love. Their life has been through its own refinements. And now, they are aligned with your vibration, not to complete you, but to co-labor with you. They won't rush. They won't run. They'll remain. God says, what's coming won't make sense to those who only know your past. Because this love isn't being built on logic, it's being built on obedience. I have assigned their heart to recognize yours. I've made them sensitive to your silences, not just your words. I've given them the kind of patience you've begged me to show you through others. And now, the promise I made in your lowest place is beginning to bloom. Every no is turning into a this is why. Every delay is turning into a divine detail. And the tears you thought fell into nothing have now watered the roots of a love that is finally ready to rise. Michael speaks with softness now. You will know it's them not because they say the right things, but because they are present when it matters most. You won't have to teach them how to care. You won't have to guess if they're coming back. They will show you that love doesn't flinch when life gets heavy. They will stand beside you in ways you never had to beg for. And you'll feel safe, not because they'll protect you from everything, but because they'll walk through everything with you. Their love will be soft enough to heal you and strong enough to grow with you. And that's why heaven waited. God concludes this sacred part, let go of the one your flesh chose and open your heart to the one I chose. You've known disappointment too intimately. Now you are about to know divine stability. The person who wants to marry you won't be interested in just having a relationship, they will be committed to building a life, a legacy, and a love that reflects my heart for you. This isn't a fairy tale. This is a fulfillment. I held it back for this exact time. And now, with your spirit awake and your heart whole, you are ready. You will not miss it. You will not misjudge it. And you will not lose it. Because I am the one bringing it. You don't have to wonder anymore. You don't have to stay awake late at night trying to decode mixed signals or replay old conversations searching for what went wrong. You don't have to live in the shadow of unanswered questions or settle for connections that only meet you halfway. Because now, beloved, what's been hidden from you is being revealed through divine light. I, Archangel Michael, have stood watch over your heart through seasons where it was crushed and seasons where it barely beat with hope. I've heard your inner voice say, I just want someone who's honest. Someone who stays. And now heaven responds, not with theory or empty reassurance, but with the release of a soul that was chosen for you before you even knew what to ask for. The one who wants to marry you is coming forward, not with confusion, but with clarity ordained by God. God says, you have spent years giving love to people who weren't prepared to protect it. You gave your time to those who only saw your beauty but never your depth. And yet you stayed kind. You stayed open. You stayed believing in love even when it broke you. That did not go unnoticed in heaven. And I am a father who remembers what was done in secret. The person I've chosen for you doesn't just want your presence. They want your peace. They want your silence. They want your joy and your storms. Because they don't love your potential, they love your entire essence. They are not afraid of your past, and they are not intimidated by your calling. I didn't raise them to run. I raised them to recognize you. Michael's voice rises with quiet power. This person is not coming because they're lonely. They are coming because you are their answer. You are the one they have prayed for without even knowing your name. They've been through their own fire, their own breaking, their own transformation. They've walked through dark seasons where God was removing the wrong desires and replacing them with purpose. That's why the wait was long. It wasn't punishment, it was purification. So that when they step into your life, you won't have to question their integrity. You will feel their consistency. You will see their preparation. They will love you with alignment, not with impulse. And you will no longer have to fight to feel safe. God speaks again. You've known what it feels like to be chosen and still feel invisible. You've known what it's like to be loved only in pieces. But I'm bringing someone who will not separate you from your wounds, your victories, or your calling. They will love all of it. Because I've shown them all of you in dreams. They've been stirred awake with a yearning for something deeper than attraction. And you are that depth. They will walk in slowly, speak softly, and stay permanently. They are not perfect. But they are prophetic. And when they speak, your spirit will calm. When they hold you, your fears will loosen. When they commit, it will be from the altar of their soul. Michael continues with a still voice. You will not need signs. You will feel it in your bones. You will know it by the peace that refuses to leave even when things feel unfamiliar. Their love will not require you to shrink, explain, or heal alone. They will walk with you. Pray with you. Build with you. They will not make you their project. They will make you their partner. Because this is not romance for pleasure. This is covenant for kingdom purpose. What you build together will outlive both of you. It will shift your lineage. It will break cycles. It will be the kind of love people talk about but rarely witness. And it will belong to you. God concludes this sacred portion. You have waited. You have healed. You have trusted. And now I am releasing. What they tried to destroy in your past, I am rebuilding through this union. It will not come with pain. It will come with peace and promise. Stay open. Stay soft. Stay expectant. You're not walking toward disappointment, you're walking into divine appointment. And the one who truly wants to marry you? They're closer than you think. They're already on the way. There are moments in life where everything feels paused, your heart, your hope, your belief in connection. And then, without warning, something shifts in the spirit realm. Something you didn't see coming begins to move. That's what's happening now. You've been faithful in the waiting, patient in the hurting, and strong in the hiding. But heaven is no longer hiding what's yours. I, Archangel Michael, was instructed to clear the way for someone whose presence is already magnetized to your calling. Not a person from your past. Not someone returning out of regret. But someone new, yet already spiritually tied to you. They don't know every part of your story, but when they speak, it will feel like they've known your heart their whole life. Their love will not echo confusion. It will confirm everything you've quietly prayed for. God says, this person has walked through fire. But they walked out with integrity, not bitterness. I needed to purify their love before it ever touched you. Because the kind of love I am building between you two cannot be born in ego or shaped by popularity. It must be born in my spirit. They are not coming to complete you, they are coming to walk beside you. They won't pull you away from purpose. They will push you deeper into it. You've tasted the ache of counterfeit connections. Now, I'm releasing the flavor of something authentic, divine, and permanent. This is not a repeat. This is the revelation. Michael continues, you don't have to overthink. The moment will not require over-explanation. You will not have to lower your standards or shrink your dreams to keep their attention. They will be drawn to the very parts of you others mishandled. What made you too much for the wrong ones will be the exact reason this one falls in awe of you. And their heart will not panic when you speak about your past. They won't compete with your vision, they will align with it. They won't just tolerate your calling, they will reverence it. This union will not be perfect, but it will be protected. Because heaven is not just assigning a person to you, it is assigning a covering. God says softly now, remember how many nights you cried, asking me why they didn't choose you? Why they left? Why it always felt like a pattern of heartbreak? What you didn't see is that I was clearing your path of every version of love that would have distracted you from your destiny. I didn't block the relationship because I was cruel. I blocked it because I love you too much to let you miss what I've planned for you. What's coming is not temporary. This is a love that honors me. This is a person who will not just love you in private, but protect you in public. They will cover your insecurities, uplift your strengths, and walk with you, not behind you, not ahead of you, with you. Michael's voice slows now, wrapping your soul like a blanket of peace. The person who wants to marry you will not ask you to heal on your own. They will sit with your scars. They will trace your pain with gentleness, not judgment. They will see your silence as a sacred language. And when you feel like you have nothing left to give, they will remind you of who you are, not with lectures, but with presence. They are not coming to fix you. You are not broken. They are coming to love you where you are, and to grow with you from that holy place. God closes this final part with stillness and power. I am not a God who forgets. I saw every tear. I heard every whisper. I counted every silent moment you endured just to stay kind. And now I say, it's your time. Time for restoration. Time for clarity. Time for real love. And when they arrive, don't run. Don't doubt. Don't sabotage what I've finally brought together. You won't miss them. You won't confuse them. You won't wonder. You will know. Because I will whisper through their voice. And when they hold you, your heart will rest for the first time in years. There's a sacred reason why some people walked away. A divine reason why certain relationships fell apart before you could make sense of them. You weren't abandoned, you were redirected. You weren't forgotten, you were hidden. And now, in this moment, as heaven parts the veil of confusion, Archangel Michael, come to remind you, what you thought was rejection was actually God's protection over your future covenant. The one who is meant to walk into your life next does not resemble those who fumbled your heart. Their spirit is steady. Their loyalty is unshakable. Their love is not impulsive, it is intentional. This is the person who will stand in front of you and not just see your outer strength, but finally recognize the soft, loyal, wounded beauty inside you that you've hidden for so long. And they will not run. They will remain. God says, I saw you accept less than you deserved because you wanted connection more than pride. I saw you shrink yourself to keep their attention, twisting into emotional shapes just to feel safe. But that is over now. The one I am bringing does not need you to be smaller. They will celebrate the fullness of you. They will not see your depth as a burden. They will see it as sacred terrain that they've prayed to walk upon. This person knows how to sit beside your silence and still feel your heartbeat. They won't dismiss your pain. They won't distract you from your path. They were created to walk in rhythm with your purpose, not pull you off course from it. Michael continues, you were the lesson to many, but now, you are becoming the reward to one. They will not just come because they are ready, they will come because they've been sent. You won't have to remind them of your value. You won't have to fight to keep their eyes on you. You won't have to ask twice for loyalty. Their commitment will be loud, not in words, but in consistency. They will show up for the boring days, the tired days, the anxious days, not just the romantic ones. Because they were not built for performance. They were built for partnership. They will match your effort. Mirror your prayers. Multiply your peace. And they will protect your heart like sacred ground. God speaks softly now, let go of what almost worked. Let go of the people you thought would be forever but only stayed for a season. Let go of the fantasy you created in your loneliness. Because what I'm sending is not fantasy, it is fulfillment. They will feel like home. Like rest. Like alignment. You will not have to convince anyone to choose you again. Because what I've prepared for you cannot be manipulated, delayed, or stolen. The door is opening. The heart I designed for you is being released. And when they step into your life, it will feel like all the broken pieces finally understood their purpose. Michael's voice becomes gentle like a whisper inside your chest. The person who wants to marry you is not going to come in noise. They will come in peace. You'll recognize them not because of what they say, but because your soul will stop searching. There will be no more begging for closure. No more watching phones that never ring. No more crying in bathrooms after being strong for too long. Because this love is going to catch you before you fall. You've caught others. You've held people together. You've loved with everything even when you had nothing left to give. And now, heaven is bringing someone to pour back into you. God finishes with gentle authority, do not settle now. You've come too far. You've healed too much. You've prayed too hard. You've forgiven too deeply. The connection that's coming is not your reward for being perfect, it's your reward for staying pure. This person will not play with you. They will not leave when it's hard. They will not disappear when you need them. They will carry the kind of love that makes you believe again. And when they speak your name, it will feel like God is calling you forward.